Okay, Buried Alive. So first and foremost, shout out to Done Deal. I wish he was here. He's a producer from Atlanta. And I remember Noah hit me up, my A&R, and was like, yo, Done Deal wants to get with you. And I was like, okay, like, cause it's not really my lane, you know what I mean? But he is a producer, he does everything, but I didn't know, cause he's like, oh yeah, he did Hannah Montana, he did this. I'm like, okay, like not anything against it, but I'm like, I'm over here making this fucking hip hop ass album, like, you know, not that that's, you know what I mean? So I just didn't know what to expect. I was going through a real hard time. This is when I was angry. I wasn't the mad rapper, but I was, you know, I was like pissed off that I wasn't getting the looks I felt like I deserved, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, a lot of people don't have the looks that I feel like they deserve. And, but I didn't give a fuck about any of that. It was just my time, and I'm like, damn. So I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was like, how come I'm not here? How come I'm not on that? Or how come so-and-so won't tweet out my shit or this or that? And she was like, look, yo, I can guarantee you that those same people with all those looks are seeing it from the other side. Like, how come I ain't got a fan base? How come I can't tour the world? How come I can't this, I can't that? Like I can. And I was like, oh shit. And she was like, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And in my mind, you know, there's multiple concepts in this one song alone. That's the biggest one. And another one is, I feel like the bigger and bigger I grow as an artist, as Logic gets, he's like burying Bobby alive, personally. Because there's only what, maybe, you know, 10 people on two hands, you know, that actually know me, who I am, not just Logic, but me. And there's, I'm sure, a couple million people who've heard my name, you know what I'm saying, for sure. And that scared me. If I'm 6 feet deep under the ground, of course the grass is greener on the other side. You know, I'm surrounded by dirt. And when it opens up, the first thing that you hear to me is like the beat talking to me. And it says, tell me how you feel. Tell me how you feel. And I'm like, I feel like the grass is green and everything I do is unseen. But I know that's just in my mind. I know everything is just in my mind. So it's like the power of positive thinking and thinking like, okay, yeah, all right, I don't have that look and I don't have that and I don't have this. Mind you, this is like a year ago. I have like all those things now, you know what I mean? Which is crazy. And since I've gotten those things, I'm like, well, wait, motherfucker, I want that, and I want a Grammy, and I want this, and da-da. So it never stops. It's never ending. It's never enough. That was so corny what I just did. Anyway, but so that's what I was talking about, you know what I'm saying? And that's what really set everything off for me. And this was the birth of the 3-stack. That's what I call it. So basically, when I record a track, I'll say something like, for example, tell me how you feel. So I did tell me how you feel, and that was recorded right here. And then on this track, this is the left and this is the right because I panned it. And over here, I'll like pitch it up really high, like, you know, like chipmunk. And then on the right, I'll like trill it, like on some UGK South, you know, Southern shit. And then I play them together and it sounds like an alien. Tell me how you feel. Like it's very Outkast. You know, that's what it was inspired by. And I call it the 3-stack because in the game we're like, oh, stack those vocals. It means do that again and again and again. But I only use 3 and I manipulate it to sound very AT-alien, so I call it 3-stack. So don't be stealing my shit. So then on top of that, this is the first time where I learned to truly stack my vocals and sing. So every vocal that you hear on that song, where it sounds like there's a choir, or it sounds like this, that's all me. So like I went in and, you know, like Buried Alive, like I'm like buried alive, you know, will I survive? I did that one. And then I did like Sinatra, buried alive, will I survive? And then I went really high and turned the auto-tune way up. Buried alive, will I survive? And it sounds stupid right now, but when I do buried alive 5 times, and I do buried alive 5 times, and I do the regular buried alive 5 times, and then I pan them to the left, and I do this, and I do this, you get this fucking shit that sounds like a choir, and it sounds crazy. And I never did anything like that. And I was always scared to do shit like that because I was like, man, it might sound whack, but nobody was around. And it was like 4 in the morning, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna be weird. I don't know if people heard me. 6 might have heard me. Thought I was fucking crazy. But the end result was that. The end result was me truly finding my sound and not being afraid to do something. Look around, everything changes. Seem like everybody just strangers. Don't go outside because it's dangerous. Why everybody want to be famous? I'm so OCD. If they notice me, I might jump out the grave so they know it's me. Man, everybody want this shit for free. Hand out, palm up when they get to me. In my mind, no, I never let it get to me. Like it's just basically like telling myself, it's okay. Like, it's all right. Like, it's gonna be cool. You're gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? You know, tell me why what I'm doing ain't shit to me. Like, it just feels like what I'm doing it isn't nothing. I want more. I want more. But that's human. I mean, that's kind of getting into never enough. But like, the more we do, the more we get, the more we want. You know, the more we attain, the more we want. We're just not happy. And I mean, we might be happy. We're not complacent, I guess.
Seems like you have different perspectives of yourself. It's almost like different characters of yourself.
So the funny thing is when I did that 3-stack and you hear the high pitch and you hear the low pitch, it's the devil and the angel on each shoulder. So it's like they're both my consciousness, you know, conscious or whatever. It's just the two sides of it. I guess the evil that I think is in all men and the good that is in all of man. You know what I mean? And so it's like the devil, you know, whispering in my ear and the angel whispering in my ear. And then I'm in the middle, you know? So I'm talking to the beat, tell me how you feel. But it's like, it's almost like these two people, like it's just, that's why it's so deep, you're right. And I'm rapping from different perspectives of my own psyche. Which is crazy, man. Like, I'm so fucking happy with this album, bro. I am such a nerd. I love sci-fi movies. I love, like, scripts and all this. And it's like, I got to turn this album into a movie. It's like, so, to me, it's just deep. It's a 10, 20, 30-year album. People will be able to go back and catch shit for the first time. Be like, whoa, damn, I didn't know that's what he meant. Like, even in all these songs, there's only but so much time that you have on this YouTube video or one song or this. Like, there's a lot that's not there. And I mean, it's yo, different light, different whatever. I'm not in nobody's shadow. I'm not trying to fill nobody's shoes. This is my Illmatic. I'm not talking about sonically. I'm not talking about stories. I'm not talking about this. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying this is my true introduction to hip hop, to the world. And people are still listening to Illmatic and catching things for the first time. And that's what I wanted to do here. So, yeah, it's not Illmatic. It's Under Pressure. But, yeah.
You mentioned Frank Sinatra. Before this album, that was part of the identity.
Yes.
The Bobby Soxers, the
Rat
Pack, all that. You really don't hear much of that in this album.
I referenced Young Sinatra once, but I only say YS. I'm I'm still the same motherfucker from that YS one. Only difference is I'm stronger and better from when I begun. So when people that never knew me, they tell me that I changed, that my music is different or my vision's rearranged, I just stop. You know, and do my best to refrain from having conversations with people that ain't in my lane. So I reference, you know, the mixtape that essentially everybody knows me from, which is Young Sinatra. Young Sinatra is like Slim Shady to Marshall Mathers, Hove to Jay-Z. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, maybe even some recent albums where Eminem really might not be talking about Slim Shady as much, or I haven't really heard the perspective from Slim Shady in a long time, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that's still not who he is. That doesn't mean that it doesn't come out there. The Rat Pack is still strong. That's the fan base. The Bobby Soxers are still beautiful and awesome. You know, that's the women. But Young Sinatra, you know, to me, it was a trilogy. It is who I am. I encompass that. But this album is just logic. You know what I mean? I think maybe Young Sinatra, just like Slim Shady is like, I'm fucking slit your throat, bitch, like whatever. Like Young Sinatra's like, yeah, motherfucker, my style, like just that, you know, Catch Me at the BET Cypher, like, you know, like that's Young Sinatra, like killing it. You know what I mean? Just the rapper, like just rapping, and yeah. So definitely not gone. The series is Nevermore, you know, because I'm in the big leagues now. And I'm making albums. Some people don't like that, you know? Like fans will be like, oh man, are you just gonna be doing albums from now on? I mean, who knows, maybe I'll drop a mixtape, but for me, I just wanna give my all. I don't wanna give you some throwaways and turn them into a mixtape. I wanna give y'all some shit, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, Young Sinatra is and always will be the alter ego and who I am. But I think as I've grown, the series, I kind of said all I needed to in that series. Yeah, which is weird. I never thought about that. I never really talked about this before. I think we kind of talked about it a little bit, but yeah, awkward.